Hi everyone, nice to see you all again. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Benny Lewis. Benny Lewis, I think, at times has been a somewhat controversial figure in the online language learning community. I don't agree with all the claims that Benny has made about language learning or about the best way to learn languages, but today I am not here to pick a fight with Benny. Those of you who follow him to some extent will probably be aware of the fact that he's had a few ups and downs and that he's trying to move forward, and I certainly wish him the best of luck with that. I'm not here to pick any kind of fight with him. I'm here to express a certain degree of amazement at the fact that he's still trying to push on forward with his language learning missions. Benny's brand name, shall I call it his brand name, the name of his website, his brand more generally, is Fluent in 3 months. And if you create a brand name of that sort, then you're going to run into difficulties sooner or later, as more and more people point out to you that your brand is predicated on something that is impossible. But that's not what I want to get into. I want to get into the fact that Benny, over such a long period of time, has maintained clearly a fairly significant degree of interest in impossible language missions. At the moment, he is, I believe, in Korea, South Korea, obviously, having spent 3 months in Indonesia, Bali, more specifically, studying Korean. This is basically Benny's approach. You go somewhere for 3 months and you study a language that is unrelated to the place you're spending time in. Then you go to the place where they do speak the language you've just been studying and you practice it, or you spend 3 months speaking it for real, let's say on the streets, wherever you may be. I'm not passing judgment on that. Benny's free to live his life however he wants, but I have the linguistic abilities to actually evaluate Benny's progress with Japanese and Chinese. I'm saying this because 2 of his earlier language missions, or whatever he calls them, were indeed to learn Japanese in 3 months and Chinese in 3 months. Now, I speak Japanese at a pretty advanced level, and I speak Mandarin Chinese at some sort of intermediate level, and at a level that is hopefully a little bit better every day, because I'm spending a lot of time studying it. And these 2 languages are really hard to learn properly. They're really hard to learn properly. You can't do it in 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. They are both quite ferociously, blisteringly difficult things to learn. And I'm not saying that other languages are easy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Benny must understand, on the strength of his earlier experiences with Japanese and Korean, and also with Arabic and Thai, lots of other very alien languages, he must understand that A, you cannot learn these languages in 3 months. He must understand, B, that you can't learn these languages even to a cruddy intermediate level in 3 months. And I imagine it is his experience too, that if you learn a language to a very poor, probably A2 level, and then stop studying it, you will pretty much immediately forget nearly everything you learned. That is debatable. People will probably retain the languages they've studied to different extents. It'll depend on other factors. But let's put it like this. I doubt that Benny can speak very much Japanese or Chinese today. That notwithstanding, Benny has fairly recently, about 3.5, 4 months ago, Benny has launched into a new language learning mission. The first phase of which has already come to an end, because he is now in Korea using the Korean that he has learned. And I'm just amazed that somebody can motivate themselves time and time again to launch themselves into these language learning missions when they must understand from previous experience that they are not going to speak the languages properly, that in the near future they're going to stop studying them, they're going to stop engaging with them, they're going to stop speaking them, and they're going to forget nearly everything that they learned. Now, I said at the beginning of this video that my objective here is not to criticize Benny, and that is true. I'm not criticizing him. He can do whatever he wants. It's his life. If he's living his best life, as everyone seems to say these days for some reason, good for him. I hope he's enjoying himself in South Korea. It's just that sometimes the sheer amount of psychological diversity that exists within human beings as a species can be gobsmacking. I just cannot imagine launching myself into the study of a very alien language that I must have realized at some level I was never going to be any good at and that I was going to forget. Why would Benny keep on doing this? This is his first language mission in quite a long time. Like I said, he had quite a difficult period in his life. By all accounts, you can find a video that he made about it at one of his channels. I'm not going to talk about that here, it's not my place to do that. But he's probably just kind of raring to get back out there and spend a bit of time abroad, study a language again, travel a bit more, try and interact with people in Korea. I mean, I say good for him. Your energy reserves in life tend to sort of dwindle over time. Then he must be, in his mid-30s or something. If he's still finding that he has the energy and the motivation and the drive to do this kind of thing, I don't have a bad word to say about it. But I literally cannot project myself into the mind space of someone who is happy to do this kind of thing over and over again. Is it for content? I don't know. I don't know how much content he's getting out of it. I just can't fathom it. I've spent probably about 6,500 hours hammering away at Russian. And I spent probably about 3,500 hammering away at Chinese. And I don't know how much time I spent working on my Japanese. I mean, I lived in Japan on and off for 4 years, and obviously if you do that, you end up in a position in which you can't count up the amount of hours you spent working on your Japanese in one sense or another. But I've really stuck with languages. And of course there are people who study one language and speak it in country for 30 years. Those people all the way at the other end of the spectrum. But no, Benny, I just don't understand. I just don't understand how people can. I just don't understand how people can learn bits of difficult, subjectively speaking, exotic languages over and over again. Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Thai, Arabic, knowing that they will end up forgetting them. A few years ago, I had the impression that this was an important part of Benny's brand building, if you like, of his marketing efforts for his own blog, his products, his services, his courses, etc. There's no way for somebody like me to make even an educated guess as to how much money Benny still generates from his site and his other related enterprises. But I don't get the impression that he is on this Korean language mission for that reason. What I'm saying is I don't think he's doing it to build or maintain his brand. He probably just wants to get out there again after a very difficult time in his life. And if that is indeed his motivation, if he just wants to get back into that old groove and feel those juices flowing again, then I say, well, I hope you're enjoying yourself, Benny. Good luck in South Korea. I will say that there's certainly something about studying a new language, a language that you have not studied before, that activates the brain in a way that is close to unparalleled. And that sense you get when you feel that you will be able to at least get your toe in the door in a new country, a new culture, a new civilization, if you like. Yeah, that's very exciting, and that excitement is not lost on me. I can appreciate why Benny would be attracted to that, but I cannot quite understand why somebody wouldn't just study one language for longer and reach a point at which they were genuinely comfortable and competent in conversation. Anyway, that's it for today. Nothing special, just some ruminations on Benny and his ongoing language studies. If there's anything that you would like me to make videos about in the future, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to accommodate you. So let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. That's it for now. Thanks very much, and bye bye. Ciao.